Hey guys, so it is the 9th of May right now, which means that it's been officially 1 year since I started my consulting business, and so I just wanted to go through, do a little bit of a reflection and documentation of what the past year has been like and the progress that has been made. And so just to give a little bit of context, just this year alone, the business has made over $450,000 in just 4 months. Okay. And I wanted to tell you guys this because this time last year, I made maybe $20,000 a month. Well, technically, on the 9th of May is when I signed my first client for my consulting program. And that was a 5K USD deal. Shout out Matthew, my very, very first client for this. But yeah, we've made quite a lot of money in the last year. Wanted to just open with this because I know a lot of people who watch my videos or want to get into the online business space, they want to know and just see somebody out there who's actually done. And so yeah, even for myself, like it's been a crazy journey where I haven't even realized for myself that I made this much money. Like I was with my clients last Sunday and I had a look at my sales dashboard and I filtered it for just this year. It was about roughly, the first 4 months of 2026, and we had made a lot of fucking money. But I never realized because I didn't actually look at it. I've just been going, working day by day, putting as much effort as I can every single day, making sure I just do the inputs that are necessary. And I've always said this, but money is a lagging indicator. It is a lagging indicator because it won't show up immediately. But the immediate things that are going to show up when you make the changes that are necessary, when you take the action, when you get over and overcome your fears, is you'll just become a better person. Whether that be more confident, if you're going to the gym and making a change, you'll start to feel better about yourself. You'll start to notice that your body is looking better. And same thing goes for money, right? You work hard, you run the business, and over time, like it's been 3 years for me now in business. I've been running a business for 3 years now, and it's felt like super, super short. Like it has felt like 2 months of business, honestly. It's gone by really, really quickly. And one thing that I always say, and obviously anybody who started a business and been successful at it will say, is I wish I started earlier. And when I started, I was 21, I think. I wish I started when I was like 16. I have a bunch of clients now who are like 16 to 20 years old. Some obviously go up into like the 28 years old kind of range. But for the guys who are, younger, that 16 to 20 years, whether you're still in high school or you're in early university, I would always recommend to just fucking send it, We're all very fortunate that we're in, at least if you're in Australia, you're in a country that is a first world country. You have all the opportunities available to you, and you most likely have all the support that you would ever need, right? Like I can go ahead and take a risk, or I can take many fucking risks and still make it up, even if I fail many, many times, which I did, right? And so if you are living in such a country that has so many opportunities out there and nothing really happens if you fail, because if you think about it and you zoom out, nothing much happens when you fail, right? You just, like the worst case scenario, if you're going to think about it, let's say for example, you want to leave your 9 to 5, you're making 6 figures a year, right? So stable, good income. And you're like, fuck, what's the worst scenario that's going to happen if I just quit my job and then go all in on online business, maybe for the next, 6 months, and I just fail? Well, worst case scenario is just you go back to your job, right? And you still have the stability there. Or even if you don't, I'm sure you have a bit of money saved, or you have your parents, you have your family, right? So you're never really going to fail or just like fall flat in your face. especially if you're so fortunate enough, just like I am, to be in a first world country, right? And so the reason I'm saying this is I took a risk 3 years ago, which has led me to where I am today. Last month in April, my business made $160,000. That's a lot to people, but it's also not a lot if you zoom out. So I've moved into this new place here 2 weeks ago, and today I saw a Lamborghini on my street. I was like, yo, what the fuck? When was there a Lambo here? And so it drove out, but then as it drove back maybe 20-30 minutes later, I noticed like the guy lives 3 houses down from me. And then I just walk up to him as he's parking the Lambo, and I'm like, fuck, you live so close. And you know, if my neighbor 3 houses away has a Lamborghini, why can't I? You know, and it's a brand new one. Like he ordered it 18 months ago, just came about a year ago, I think, or well, I don't know exactly when it came, but it was maybe made a year ago. Like this guy lives right next to me. Why can't I do the exact same thing? You know, if there's billionaires out there, you know, Elon Musk, I think he's worth like $700 billion. Why the fuck can't I become a millionaire? At the very, very least, right? If not a billionaire myself. And so, you know, that's the kind of mindset I've always had. And maybe for you guys watching, you don't necessarily have that yet, or like you want to have that. And the reason I'm saying this is just because I want you guys to actually feel that as well. Like, I want you to think bigger than you ever have before. Because the only way that you can get the best things out of life, or the things that you actually want, the ideal version of life that you want, is like you have to think bigger. And that's what I did 3 years ago. Like I started business 3 years ago. I fucked around for a year, right? I started early 2023, and for about a year I just did not know what I was doing. I was watching YouTube videos, trying to learn, trying to do things myself, but what you don't notice is that time goes by really fast, and it can either be like really quickly up or like really slowly up, depending on if you have the right information or the right systems or the right support and guidance, that kind of thing. So for the first year, I was just, you know, trying to smash it out by myself, and pretty much no success. I signed like 2 clients in January of 2023. That was kind of like I got in and I kind of networked a little bit, and I got referred to somebody and then they paid me. But it wasn't like from what I was doing. And so either way, that was a great experience. But yeah, for that whole year, I pretty much just did nothing because I was graduating uni as well. Not that I liked uni ever, and I never knew. I always knew that I was never going to use a degree, like ever. My whole thought process was please get degrees, and then I go fuck off and run an online business, that kind of thing. And so yeah, for that year, had no guidance, no nothing, and pretty much made no money, graduated uni. And then after I graduated uni, I was like, okay, cool. I have nothing else holding me back, and I'm not going to go work a job, right? Or I'm not going to work a job for the rest of my life. So I did have to work a job for money, right? I got some part-time jobs, eventually got a full-time job towards the end of 2024. But this entire time I was running the agency and making money with it. And, you know, I feel no regrets, you know. I wish I had started even earlier. Like I wish that 1 year of me just fucking around and not knowing what I was doing, I wish that happened like 5 years earlier, if not 10 years earlier. I would have been way too young, but like you get the point. Like you are never too early to start, right? But you can always be too late to start. That's how I see it. And so depending on what age you are right now, maybe you've started your own online business, maybe you haven't, but if you haven't, like please. And if you want to, like please start today, if not yesterday, because you're going to thank yourself for it. And one of the traits that I've seen from guys who make it quite big, you know, in online business, is just that they don't stop, they don't quit. I feel like I'm one of those guys, and I am one of those guys because I've seen a lot of people quit over the past 3 years of trying to run an online business, and like that's the only thing that is considered failure, if that makes sense. If you don't stop, you cannot fail. You just can't. And so, yeah, like after that year, I got a mentor. I got a mentor, I joined a program, and immediately I started getting more results just because they had the information that I was looking for. They had the systems I didn't have, and they could help hold my hand as I was implementing their systems as well. And that really started kicking things off at the start of 2024, and helped me make a lot more money with my agency. And the thing is as well, this is something that I've realized recently, but people think they need to have some fresh, shiny new idea to start a business. But what I realized early on is that no, you don't need a fresh idea. You just need to copy successful people and just do what they're doing, and you'll make a lot of money. Because there's certain things out there that are just completely proven, and you don't really have to make something up from scratch, right? You just do the thing. And so, yeah, like just copy people, copy mentors, copy your peers, right? Copy people who are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of you, and that's going to be the thing that skyrockets your success, your learnings, your understanding, all that kind of stuff. Because, you know, you like genuinely do not know everything, and like you probably barely know anything. At least that was me, right? Until I started investing in people, and like it opened up my eyes, and it also broke a lot of limiting beliefs that I had for myself. Because most people have an insane amount of limiting beliefs. Like you'll talk to people and they don't even believe in themselves. They say like, oh, I can't do this. This is too expensive. I can't make this happen, right? And now through 3 years of business, when I hear things like this, I'm like, but you can. Like, why not? What's stopping you? And what you realize is that the only thing that ever stops any of us is just ourselves, right? And it all comes down to the beliefs, because if one other person can do it, that means you can do it as well, right? Like you are no different. Technically, I'm no different from Elon Musk, who's worth $700 billion, right? And so I like to take that mindset going into everything that I do within business, because like that's the only thing that's really going to serve you. There's no point limiting yourself. There's no point not having belief in yourself, because if you won't believe in yourself, who will, right? At the end of the day, you only have yourself. I only have myself at the very, very end of the day. You know, obviously I have my loving girlfriend, Evelyn, but you know, when she's not here, who else do I have? I got to back myself, you know what I mean? And so for whoever's watching right now as well, one thing that I'm really trying to push and get people to kind of implement for themselves is just taking a bet. Take a bet on yourself. I don't think enough people actually take bets on themselves, right? You can try gamble on, you know, crypto, on stocks, whatever. But when was the last time you took a bet on yourself? When you were like, hey, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to start this thing. I'm going to succeed because I believe in myself and I have bet on myself. There's not enough people who have done that. And so if you're watching this video and you're looking for some sort of sign that, you know, you should just go all in, this is it. Take a bet on yourself, right? Take the risk. Fuck it. You're going to look back in 3 years from now and actually just really thank yourself because you started. And that's all you need to do. You need to start and you need to keep going. Keep going even though it hurts, even though it's uncomfortable, right? Even though you lose money, even though you spend all day doing things, you know, working on the business, right? You spend all of your effort. You don't hang out with friends. You miss events, right? You miss dinners, whatever that looks like. It's supposed to happen. And nobody can achieve anything without sacrifice. And so you just have to ask yourself, like, what are you willing to sacrifice? What am I willing to sacrifice to achieve the life of my dreams? A little bit of money, right? A little bit of my time, whatever it takes, right? And so that's the mindset that you should be having if you want to make a lot of money in business. Like, really does not matter what you do. Again, like I said, just copy people, copy proven business models, proven systems, proven techniques, whatever that looks like. take the right information and just keep doing it. Just literally do not stop, and you're gonna make it, right? And so, a year into my current consulting business, I've made well over $500,000, and that's not a normal thing to say, at least in Australia, because in Australia we've got the tall poppy syndrome, right? People will hold you back and not believe in you. They'll say, hey, don't do that, it's too risky, or like, you look cringe doing that, like why would you even try, and if you're the type of person who is just not like that, I'm trying to break that shit, right? I'm trying to break the tall poppy syndrome and show people that you actually can do it, which is like the entire purpose and mission and vision of this business currently. Because like I said, when I invested in mentors, I did, but it wasn't anybody in Australia. I had to go overseas because online business was just not as big in Australia a few years ago. So I went overseas, bought a program from a guy called Serge Guattari, shout out him, he's in Canada. And I was staying up to like 2-3 a.m. trying to get on group coaching calls, and through that experience, yes, I loved it, but it was like, fuck, I didn't have anybody here in Australia, and so, after the past few years, I've had some really, really cool experiences with another mentor that I invested in towards the end of 2024. Had a great trip with him in Cape Town last year in February of 2025. And that opened my eyes because I was around these guys, similar age to me, making money online, running their own businesses, and it was just such good energy. And so I realized that I could just bring that back to Australia. I could be the one that creates that experience that I never had. And so that's how this business was born. And that's the reason behind the business in the first place. And a lot of people ask like, oh, why'd you do it? Why'd you quit? Or why'd you, switch away from the agency that you were running before? Simply because I didn't like it. Like, that's it. I didn't like it. It wasn't aligned with me. It wasn't fulfilling me at all. And so I made a switch to something that actually gives me a reason to wake up every day. To actually, be the example and be the help and the guidance for the younger version of me. Because the younger version of me, he had to stay up to 3 a.m. trying to get on group coaching calls, right? He had to fuck around and figure it out for a whole year by himself because there was no one here to actually help. And so I'm just pretty much being that, that role model or that older brother figure. And it's really, really cool to say that because one of my students, one of my clients, Peter from Melbourne, he actually said that to me, and I never really thought about that until he said it. But it really resonates with me. He was saying how, he didn't have anybody to look up to, especially in, just in life in general, but also like in online business, because he's a Vietnamese guy like me, same last name, Nguyen, and he's also the older brother, but he's actually 2 years younger than me. And so, like, I kind of thought about it because I'm the oldest brother of 4 kids. So I've got 3 younger siblings and I've always just had to be the older brother. But it's like I never had my own older brother, if that makes sense. And so seeing that I was that kind of figure for him kind of blew my mind and made me really, really grateful for the position I'm in because it goes so much deeper than money. Right? Like, who the fuck cares about the money at the end of the day? Obviously, you need money to actually do the things that you want and be able to provide the impact that you want to have, right? And which is literally what I'm doing. Like, a lot of the money that I make, I reinvest it back into the business to make the product, to make the program better for my students that come in because I genuinely give a fuck, right? But at the end of the day, it's about creating the relationship. It's about creating the experiences that people really love and people really want to be a part of. And that's what I'm building right now, especially for the guys in Australia and especially for the young Asians in Australia, because as an Asian myself, as a Viet guy, I obviously I've gone through the whole Viet family upbringing. I had a Vietnamese dad, Vietnamese mom, and I've been through it all. The parents wanting you to study hard, play all the instruments, play all the sports, get a good degree, get a good job, and that's like the path to success. But that's something that never really aligned with me. And I'm just really glad and grateful that I took the risk 3 years ago. And now I get to be the example and somebody that I can make it less risky for someone to take a risk because I've taken the risk, right? And I can like lower that risk for them because it's not like they're just jumping into something with no information, no systems, no guidance or anything. They actually have all of that and more, right? We've got the group program, we've got the community, we've got all of my resources that I've ever built, all of my SOPs, which is the standard operating procedures. We've got the coaches inside the program who are actually my previous students who actually made money, achieved success, and now they're helping me on my team, right? We've got the AI version of me that my team and I have built over the past 2 months. That's trained on every single one-on-one call I've ever taken, every single group call I've ever taken, every single Discord chat I've ever had with my students, every single SOP that I've ever written. It's trained on every single piece of data and it's continuously updated every single month. And nobody else in the space is doing that, right? And so that's why I'm saying, like, when you actually give a shit and when you're doing the right things that will support people and make it less risky for them to actually achieve success, that's what matters. You know, the money is going to come. Like I said, money is a lagging indicator. The first thing you're going to see is the effort you put in, right? The risk you took and how you just changed as a person in general, right? And so, yeah, like looking back on it all now, it's just been a really, really cool experience. Like this past year, I went from a solo operator, you know, starting this consulting business literally 1 year ago now. And then, you know, today I've got about 12 people on my team. Like I pay 12 people. Like I pay over $50,000 every single month to my team now because I have a team and we make a lot of money. And I don't say that to brag or anything, but it's just like, for you guys who want to make a lot of money, I would get used to just paying people and paying for things. Like you have to get used to being the person that is always fronting. You got to front dinners, right? You got to front for gifts. You got to front for whatever it is. You have to be the one that puts your card down first. You have to be the one that pays your people a lot of fucking money because you need to compensate them for their hard work. And that's one of the biggest things that I've learned over the past, you know, roughly 5 months, 6 months now that I've had a team. It's slowly built over time. And one of the coolest, learning lessons about this is that every single time you stack on an A-player team member, you make more money. The next time you make even more money. But what you got to realize is that you got to pay A-player people, A-player fucking money, right? They're not cheap, but that's a good thing because it pushes you, it makes your business better, it also makes you more money as well. And obviously you have things to do with the money. You have an impact to make with the money, right? And so it's a good thing. But yeah, like that's one of my biggest lessons over the past 6 months as I've built a team now. It's very scary going from, you know, paying people a couple $1,000s a month to now your first $10,000 a month, now $20,000 a month, now $50,000 a month. And as it scales, I'm going to start having to pay my team like $100,000, $500,000, $1 million a month. But at that point, it's like, I get so used to it, you know, like it's not scary anymore. Like the numbers that we're bringing in is so much more than we're putting out. And that's a good thing, right? You want it to be that way. But like you wouldn't be able to make that money and I wouldn't be able to make that money if I didn't invest in having a great A-player team. And so for everybody that, you know, wants to scale a business, just know that you can't do it alone. And that's something I've really learned. And it makes me appreciate them because now I've built relationships with my whole team. I'm friends with my whole team. Like it's sick, you know, and I get to compensate these people and actually make an impact on them as well. It's not just the students, not just my girlfriend, not just my family, but also my team as well. Like my EA, executive assistant, she's from the Philippines, and I've been able to help her pay for her dad's cancer treatments, which is insane because for myself. Obviously, my mom passed from cancer. What is it, like 4 years ago now? 3.5 years ago. And, you know, back then, I don't know what kind of help we got for that, but just looking back on it, like I wouldn't want anybody to go through that. And now being in a position where I make money and I can actually give back and make an impact and potentially change somebody's life, I'm going to fucking do it. You know, and that is the power of making money. That is the power of taking a risk 3 years ago and saying, fuck it. Who cares about the risk? Who cares about the failure? I just got to do it, right? And now I get to have this impact on my EA's life that, you know, hopefully I can help cure her father's cancer. Like that is what the money is for. Obviously all the material things are nice. It's cool. But when it comes down to it, actually being able to make an impact on somebody's life is the most important thing about running a business. You solve problems and you provide a fuck ton of value to people. And same thing with another member on my team. He was actually able to, you know, help his brother pay for a wedding ring just because he made more money working on my team. And like reflecting on that, it's insane. Like just because these people are around me, working within my business and working with me and alongside me, they get to have an impact on others and I get to have an impact on them. And so now like, it's like, I can't even slack off. You know, when you build a business this big, and obviously it's going to get way bigger, but when you start building a business, you start bringing on team members, you genuinely you put food on people's tables. And like, it's a crazy level to hit because it's not about me anymore. It's not about just my girlfriend or my family. It's like, I provide for my team's families, for my students' families. Like me helping my students make more money helps their families, which is insane, right? Same thing with business, like just B2B businesses. But yeah, like, fuck, over this past year, I think this has developed me a lot more than just running my own agency, and which is the most important part to me. Like, I don't really care about running an agency. It's not the thing for me. I love teaching it, and I've learned so much more about agency, not running an agency. But yeah, like this has really just been an insane journey, and to think that it's already been a year since I started this journey, it kind of cooks my head because it's genuinely happened so fast. Like a year ago today, I was in Dubai, and I was pretty much broke last year at this time, and since then we've made over $500,000. Like, holy fuck! But yeah, what a realization. I'll leave it at that. Wanted to share my thoughts, a little bit of a reflection, and the lessons that I've learned over the past year. Hopefully this has helped at least one person watching this video. If you've watched this far, I really, really appreciate you guys for getting to the end and actually, taking the time out of your day to just watch me yap. It's been nearly half an hour. But yeah, really, really appreciate everybody for watching. It's been a year of this journey so far, running my consulting company, and I cannot wait to see where this goes. We have some really fucking big goals for this year. Seeing my neighbor with a brand new Lamborghini definitely makes me want to work harder. So I'm going to work harder. Hopefully you guys take a risk, work really fucking hard, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.